Step into a world where history lives on every page at the Florida Antiquarian Book Fair, the oldest and largest event of its kind in the Southeast. Join us March 7th and 8th, 2026, at the Coliseum in downtown St. Petersburg, and discover rare books, treasured manuscripts, and timeless stories waiting to be found. Visit FloridaAntiquarianBookFair.com for details and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for exclusive updates. Florida Antiquarian Book Fair. Let freedom read.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rare Book Cafe, the Coffee Break Edition. I'm Lee Linn at the Ridge Books in Calhoun, Georgia. And joining me today is a frequent visitor to Rare Book Cafe, Barbara Loe from Osprey, Florida. Barbara was with us recently. If you follow Rare Book Cafe, you saw her episode on Vinegar Valentines. And today we're going to go back to Valentine's, but today it's going to be the sweet, charming love, love poems, all of that. And Barbara will be participating, as will I, in the Florida Antiquarian Book Fair, March first full weekend in March, whatever those dates are, in St. Petersburg at the Coliseum. And then she will be in Greenwich, Connecticut at the Ephemera Society Fair 2 weeks after that. So be sure, if you're in the area of either of these fairs, to follow her and to come and see what wonderful pieces of ephemera she has. We are neighbors at the Florida Fair, so when you visit her fair, her booth, you can come to mine too. And so now, Barbara, I'm going to turn it over to you because I know you have a story to tell us.
Hi. Well, it's good to see you all again. And I'm always glad to participate here at the Rare Book Cafe. And so I thought since we did the vinegar kind of nasty Valentines last time, this time we'd focus on a romantic story. So I'm going to show you a series of different types of Valentines and what we call love tokens. And so I'm going to be putting my glasses on so that I can read things, but it's good to see you all. And so we're going to start. And this is one that I really love. It says affection. No, it says mutual affection. And it shows the Cupids and and you've got the two here, but then you've also got a little one flying in, and that is kind of a ceramic piece. So that's an unusual kind of a Valentine. You don't see that very often. And so now we're just starting to court. So that's our mutual affection.
Can I ask a question about that one before you go on?
Yeah.
Is lace an embossed thing, or is it a separate cutout over the front?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. The lace is all paper lace. And yes, it is embossed and it is cut. I put backing sheets in. So I'm going to show you. This is what it would have looked like from the printer. Okay. But then I put in backing sheets so that it really sets off the lace so that you can really see the patterns. And there were a number of printers and embossers and engravers that did these. And these are going back probably to the 1840s, 50s, 60s, although I do have a really early Regency one that I'll show you a little bit later. So, and the work on this is just, it's incredible. Let me pull in real close and show you some of that lace. And so what they would do is they would get the lace blanks. And actually, I have a lace blank right here. And so that's what it would look like when they got the lace. And then they would decorate it and either watercolor or scraps that they'd put on, handwriting. If you look up at the top, there's messages written. And but it was a whole layering process that they would go through to get to this final stage. That's probably more than we've talked about the construction in the past. But okay, so then we have this one, which I just love. And it says, "Bear with me, dearest." And you have the little teddy bear there holding a book. And on the inside, the book opens and it says, "Yours till death."
Whoa.
So that's the romantic message. And then, of course, when you open up the Valentine, then on the inside, whoops, there's my colored sheet. There's a place where you can write your message, or frequently a poem.
Are those from the same publisher?
They might be. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I haven't looked at them. So now we're going to move to a token of love. And this is called, let me see, I'm going to get a blank paper here behind it. So this is a three-dimensional thing, and it will open up and it would sit on the shelf or the desk. And it says, "To one I love." And so we call that a token of love in the Valentine family. So then here's another one, and it says, "Forget me not." And these are all hand colored, and then they have, this is all embossed as you go around and everything. And so this we call a love token. Now this says, "I'll ne'er forget thee." And again, it's the paper lace and watercolored and everything. And this is a single page one, as opposed to the others that I was showing you, which are 2-page ones. But again, our relationship is progressing. Here,
He's sending one a year. This relationship is taking quite a while to progress.
yeah, I think maybe we'll just say that we're friends that we're progressing. This is a larger one, and it says, "Forget me not." And you can look at this. This is all chromolithography and just beautiful workmanship. And so this is a large quarto. Then we'll move back to another love token. And at this point, we're saying, "I love you," or "I love thee." And so this could have been applied to the front of a lace Valentine like that, or you could just have sent the love token. And here's another one, and it says, "Love's home is in the heart." And these are just lovely. And you don't see them very often. So I was really excited to find these. Now we're progressing in this relationship. We are moving along. And this is a Regency Valentine. And so it's from approximately 1813.
Wow.
And it says, I want my dear maid a sweet partner for life. So tell me in earnest if you will be my wife. So this is actually a marriage proposal Valentine. So there we'll pull back, but you can see. And I've had this one another time where it was hand colored. So sometimes this one is as it originally came from the printer, and then the other one that I had, they had painted it with watercolors.
So this might have been a very shy young man who
Yeah,
did not want to do this in person.
yeah, yeah. So he's hiding behind the bush, you can see, and he's presented her with the Valentine proposing. So, and now we come to the further stage. There we are at the church, and the church door opens. And let me get it fully open. And inside the church, you can see they're getting married. So this was just a little love story via Valentine's.
Those are just wonderful. Um, I think the young man could have done this over, like one a week.
Yeah, there you
Leading
go.
up to
There
the
you go.
proposal, perhaps.
Well, the key was that it didn't matter what at what point your relationship was. You could find a Valentine that was for the
That's
appropriate
perfect.
time in the relationship.
Right.
And but it's nice for those of us that work with Valentines, and I'm a dealer, so I sell them. But
Right.
for those collectors, that you can see that there's all the different stages of the relationship are represented.
Yeah.
And so after we did the vinegar ones last week and the penny dreadful, and I like to emphasize they were dreadful.
Yeah, they were. They were really dreadful.
Yeah,
Some of
that
them more
you
dreadful
know
than others.
the real purpose of the Valentines was for this romantic messaging.
Yeah.
And here we are getting ready for Valentine's Day, because for Valentine collectors, February 14th is our day.
Right. Right. But
and
you
and so
won't,
have
will
a
you
nice
be
story.
doing any shows before Valentine's Day that collectors could?
No, I will not be doing any shows before Valentine's Day, but I will be 2 weeks later at the Florida Antiquarian Book Fair in St. Petersburg.
Which is the
And
7th and 8th of March. I
yeah,
had a text from Alan to remind
yeah.
me. Uh,
And and that is a great show. One of the things that I love about that show is that, well, several things. One, but my favorite thing about it is you will see people of all ages there. You will see people pushing strollers with their babies and toddlers in it. And you will see people in their 80s and 90s who are still collecting and passionate about books and ephemera. And the other thing that I like is that you've got all different periods of time represented, and you've got a wide range of prices. So, like in my booth, I'll have Valentines that are $10 and $15, and I'll have Valentines that are $500, $600, $700.
right.
So, depending on what stage you're at, there's something for everybody at that show. And the same is true with the books. You'll find dealers that will be selling paperbacks. Uh, I was at a show 2 weeks ago, and there was a dealer, and he had Big Little books. Do you remember Big
Yes,
Little
of
books?
course. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're going to have, although I don't think those are inexpensive anymore.
I don't think they are either, the last ones I've seen.
But there, but the key is that there's something for everybody at this show, and that's one of the things I love about it. Is it doesn't matter what your price range is, it doesn't matter what your age is, it doesn't matter whether you love the old antiquarian stuff or you love new modern stuff. Are you looking for something that's signed by an author, or are you just looking for something that you want to read? or research. I mean, this is a great show, and I absolutely love it every year.
Well,
So
I do too. I've been going,
in St. Petersburg,
which is the
and
7th and 8th of March. I had
yeah,
a text from Alan to remind
yeah,
me. Uh,
and that is a great show. One of the things that I love about that show is that, well, several things. One, but my favorite thing about it is you will see people of all ages there. You will see people pushing strollers with their babies and toddlers in it. And you will see people in their 80s and 90s who are still collecting and passionate about books and ephemera. And the other thing that I like is that you've got all different periods of time represented, and you've got a wide range of prices. So, like in my booth, I'll have Valentines that are $10 and $15, and I'll have Valentines that are $500, $600, $700. So,
right.
depending on what stage you're at, there's something for everybody at that show. And the same is true with the books. You'll find dealers that will be selling paperbacks. Uh, I was at a show 2 weeks ago, and there was a dealer, and he had Big Little books. Do you remember Big
Yes,
Little
of
books?
course. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, you're going to have, although I don't think those are inexpensive anymore.
I don't think they are either, the last ones I've seen.
But there, but the key is that there's something for everybody at this show, and that's one of the things I love about it. Is it doesn't matter what your price range is, it doesn't matter what your age is, it doesn't matter whether you love the old antiquarian stuff or you love new modern stuff. Are you looking for something that's signed by an author, or are you just looking for something that you want to read or research? I mean, this is a great show, and I absolutely love it every year.
Well,
So
I do too. I've been going since about most years since about 2003 or 2004. I can't remember exactly. And I have some paper, but I will have mostly books. And the last couple of years, I've had a shelf of books that were in the $5 to $10 range, and which sell rather well, and then would have things that are up to well over $1,000. And so it's a great show. It's extremely well run. We've all been going so long that it's like old home week. You know, and it
we do
really
all
is.
kind of know each other. Yeah.
Yeah, we know each other. We check on each other's families. We what surgeries we've had since the last time we were there. There's a lot of hugging going on. It's a reunion of book dealers,
Yeah.
and it's just there are usually about 80 booths, and everything from one table up to double and triple booths that some people,
Right. Right.
and
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 it's
like,
a beautiful facility.
oh gosh, it is so pretty.
Yeah.
It's a 20s era dance hall, and with vaulted curved ceilings and alcoves along the sides, and and old books really suit the feeling of the building.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
a
And I mean, it's a friendly group of people, and like you say, it's kind of like Old Home Week. It is absolutely in my top three shows that I do every year. I love this show, and like you were saying, you've got your shelf with your inexpensive books, and then we all have our really good high end stuff. But
right,
what I like is this bringing stuff so that you can get the people that are getting started,
right.
because if you're a new collector or you just are curious about it, there's something for you there as well. So it's
And
just a
people to
wonderful show.
explain to you, what you're to help you find what you're looking for, and to explain to you what would be a good thing to collect,
Right.
and and to help you with how do I budget for antiquarian books. And also, our third issue of the Book Lovers Paradise magazine will be out then, and people can access that online or on their phone, and it will have a lot of articles about book collecting in it,
Oh, great.
with
Yeah.
an emphasis on the effect of books and pamphlets on the American Revolution, since this is the 200th
The anniversary year, yeah.
So I don't know that we're planning on wearing our Martha Washington outfits, but please come and join us for that. And don't forget that Barbara will be in Greenwich 2 weeks after that, and I will be in Atlanta the week before that. So I would like to share.
Clearly, we're in show season.
We are. This is show season, and I would like to share something that I'm taking to Atlanta. This is not a Valentine, but Martin Luther King Day, of course, was Monday. In 1968, when King was assassinated, his funeral was in Atlanta. I was working for the telephone company in downtown Atlanta at 51 Abbey Street, and I was working the day of the funeral, April the 9th. We could see police cars, we could see people on foot, we could see traffic, we could see roads blocked off, but I wasn't down there in the thick of it. My husband, however, who was a senior at Emory at the time, was one of the college men that was recruited by the Southern Christian Leadership Conference to provide courtesy cars for people attending the funeral. They picked folks up at the airport, they took them to hotels, they took them to Ebenezer Baptist Church on the 9th for the private service, if you can call 1,300 people private. And then there was 100,000 people who marched to Morehouse for the public service after that. And the cars were identified with a paper sign. And Bob's family were pack rats, and our sons have inherited that illness, and nothing ever got thrown away. And in this case, it's a good thing. He folded, these were just written on paper with markers and crayons. And he folded his up and kept it all these years. So I have framed it, and I'm going to take it to Atlanta. I think Alan's going to put up a better picture of it, but this just gives you an idea of what it looked like.
Oh.
SCLC courtesy car, number 265. That was it. And this is how people coming into the Atlanta airport, which was not quite as hectic then as it is today, could identify transportation to take them to wherever they needed to go. I don't recall whether he had any real celebrities in his car. I don't think so, but he stayed very busy for about 3 days doing this. And the SCLC, Governor Maddox, was only concerned about rioters and had riot police surrounding the Capitol and the government buildings downtown. But the Atlanta police just provided traffic control, and the SCLC provided security for the march from Ebenezer to Morehouse. And so we're very involved in that weekend. But it's a fascinating piece that has survived since 1968. Before I framed it, I had it in an archival box, protected. And I think if someone does purchase this, they're going to want to have it, reframed or keep it in an archival, location. But I wanted to be able to display it. So that's one thing that I'm taking to Atlanta.
Well, that's really cool. That's a real living piece of history. One of the things, and it's perfect because, my specialty is ephemera.
Right, yes.
And that is true ephemera. And, we define ephemera as something that was meant to be used and discarded. And we're fortunate enough to have people hang on to these things because they tell us about a moment in time. And that was an incredible moment for this country.
That was an incredible moment. And I have, because, like I said, because Lynn's never threw anything away, I have, stuff in other categories that would probably have been thrown away, that had been kept, because when my father-in-law passed away, he had a stack. Now, these were didn't need to be kept, but a stack of TV guides by his chair in the den, that one of the first things my mother-in-law had done was to get rid of that stack of TV guides. But he kept things like
TV guides too, because they had good articles in them.
He also kept like the receipts from when he paid the electric bill downtown, stuff like that. And And so it's been interesting to see what I have in Linn memorabilia. Whether
Well, and the thing that's fascinating about that is, yeah, it might be nothing. I remember when my mom passed away that I found the receipt for carpeting for like 4 houses
yeah,
ago, in there. But I also found a brochure from when they went to Hawaii the first time.
oh,
And I got married in Hawaii and we were at the same hotel,
oh
which
my
I had
goodness,
no idea about.
yeah,
But until I was going through, thank God my mom was a pack rat too.
yeah. I know. Well, my one thing I've never forgiven my brother for when my mother passed away. I was here in Calhoun, but he was in Birmingham, where she lived, and he threw away the drawer that had recipe clippings and handwritten recipes, thinking it was just trash. And I was very unhappy about that, very unhappy about that. But ephemera it has become more important in book fairs, particularly. More dealers are bringing wonderful historical things, and we will see I know we will see in Florida some major historical pieces that would be considered ephemera. So and this show is brought to you through the Florida Antiquarian Book Fair, and you can go online and find out. In fact, it's not even too early to buy tickets to the book fair. So please follow that. Follow us on Rare Book Cafe. Um, Follow mine and Barbara's journeys as we go to book fairs. And
We'll be in the back near where the
not
piano
the
player is
stage,
playing
yes.
classical music.
20s, 27 and 28, I think we are.
Yeah, something.
Something
We're
like that.
all the way
Something
in the
like that.
back,
Yes.
but
And we
uh,
watch each other's booths, during bathroom breaks and things like that. So anyway, we'll look forward to seeing you. And thank you for joining us today. And
yeah. All right.
next time. Bye
And
bye,
we'll see you
everyone.
soon. Bye bye.